right away. Yeah. Speaking of that last Days Your Last, thank you for choosing this as the last show you will ever see. You made a wise decision. You guys heard about the whole Rapture thing. That was really bad news for me, because I've honestly been telling myself all week, you know, you might not win this thing, but it's not the end of the world. Now it might be. So please vote for me. I do have some religious friends, though, who, like, they don't believe that, but I do have one friend who, she describes herself as being in a relationship with God, which is a little, it's bizarre, because when she describes it, it kind of sounds like she's in an abusive relationship with God, you know, because, like, he tells her what to wear and how to act all the time. She talks to him all the time. I can never really tell if he's listening. Bad things happen to her. He doesn't do anything to stop it, but if he asks her, she's just like, I know what it looks like, but everything he does is because he loves me, okay? I had sort of a humble upbringing, you guys, and you know, I was never sad that my dad would beat me with a sock full of pennies. I just remember feeling so fortunate that we were too poor to afford quarters. Ouch. Yeah. He's really hoping I win this thing, though. No, my parents, though, actually, not too long ago, they went on a bit of a vacation. They're actually flying to London, and at the airport, they confiscated my mom's toothpaste and threw it away. And when I heard that, I was like, man, they're really serious about enforcing that stereotype in England. I think people tend to ask dumb questions, in my opinion. Like when a woman's pregnant, everyone wants to know, boy or girl, when clearly a man did it. I don't have any kids of my own, but I do know if I ever do have a kid, it's going to be gifted. And by that, I mean I'm going to leave it on someone's doorstep. So that you're okay with, all right? I remember when I was in elementary school, I remember we had this poster in my room, in our classroom, that it was like this poem from World War II. That was something along the lines of, the first part was like, when they came for the Jews, I didn't say anything because I wasn't a Jew. Then when they came for whatever, like the next group, I didn't say anything because I was a part of that group. It goes on like that till at the end, it says, and then when they came for me, there was no one left to say anything. So like a really nice, you know, sort of message of unity, a nice thing to have in your classroom. Unless you're the only Jew in the class. Because then what that says is, hey, welcome to 4th grade. If anyone comes to take anyone, you're gonna be first. And based on past experience, none of us are gonna say anything. Welcome. Now I'm a paranoid little kid freaking out someone's gonna take me, and it's okay, those fears were completely unfounded, because then at recess I was always picked last. So not a problem. I'm thinking, alright, maybe I'm not Jewish. Or maybe I'm incredibly Jewish. That can also be the explanation. I'm Jewish, but I'm not particularly religious, and when you're so you don't want to be religious, people try to guilt trip you. Like, this is a thing I've heard before, where they say, you gotta stick with it, you gotta live a Jewish life, because if you don't, it's as if Hitler wins. Which, I thought he was pretty soundly beaten at this point. Took care of that. But what you're basically telling me is like, alright, you don't want to be religious out of a love for God, but maybe you will to spite a dead guy. And like, who does that? Who stays Jewish just to mess with Hitler? Like, every time I spin a dreidel, I gotta be like, oh yeah, you like that, Hitler? Oh, you watching this? Oh, I'm filled with the pride of Hanukkah. I'm gonna do that. But I don't know, maybe people do that. Maybe the Amish are like, sure, we could use electricity, but then Edison wins. F that guy. He was a known hater of large beards. But it also means that apparently it's part of the Jewish belief system that the worst thing that would happen to someone like Hitler in the afterlife is he just has to watch us be Jewish. Yeah, that's fair. That seems even like, why believe in that? I'd rather believe something else. Like every day in hell, Hitler has to carry a boulder up a mile-high mountain, and at the top his spleen is eaten out by a pelican who has the voice of Jackie Mason, and it regrows, and he's like, oh, come back tomorrow. I don't do it. So I'm graduating next year, and speaking of transitions, here's my next joke. My girlfriend told me that she likes a guy with confidence, which of course I took to mean that she's cheating on me. No, it's okay though, because I'm going to track down that confident bastard and yell at him until I apologize. That'll show him. Actually, I get all of my romantic advice on Facebook because I'm very romantic. I got all my relationship advice there. Because you know on Facebook they have those groups that are like 100 things that every boyfriend should do for their girlfriend. And a lot of it's just like the really typical kind of pathetic stuff you'd expect, like tell her she's beautiful every 4 to 7 hours, give her flowers for no reason, comb her hair while she's sleeping, that kind of thing. So I'm reading one of these lists. And I get to the last thing on this particular list says, so apparently the most important thing anyone can do for their girlfriend is, when she runs up to you crying, as if that's common, for her to charge straight at you while like a sprinkle of flowing tears every which way, you say to her, and I quote, "Whose ass am I kicking today, baby?" And then they just leave it with no further instruction of like what my tone or inflection should be. Like, am I supposed to be kind of sarcastic and tongue-in-cheek to cheer her up? Or am I supposed to look at her and seriously be like, whose ass do I have to kick to stop you from expressing your emotions? But I mean, I'm not above trying that, so last time my girlfriend was crying, I asked her, and it really sucks because now I have to kick the ass of her dead aunt. Just kidding, I don't have a girlfriend. But I'll tell you a story about back when I did. I remember, because I don't have the girlfriend, but I still like this joke. This is a story of a rash that I had on my legs, okay, sorry for that visual, don't count it against me. And the story isn't how I got the rash, because that's not anything exciting. It's not like I was not adventuring in a poison ivy jungle or having sex with an unclean needle or whatever you do. I just existed during dry weather. That was my crime. That's all I did. So I had this dry rash, but I'd never had one before, so I didn't know what it was. So I asked my girlfriend at the time to take a look. So we went up to my dorm room, locked the door in case my roommate came by, and she was like, yeah, it's a dry rash, you just need lotion. So she went to her room to go get it. Now the door's unlocked, and I don't want to lock the door because she's just going to be right back. I also don't want my roommate to possibly come by and me just be waiting there for him, pantless with a rash, waiting for him. So what I did is I got into bed. Perfect, it's taken care of. Little do I know, on her way back, she bumps into my roommate, and rather than warning him of the impending disaster, she waits until she's opening the door, he sees me in bed, and while holding a bottle of lotion, she says, "Jonathan's waiting for me in there with no pants." He has the good sense to go, "Okay, I'm leaving," and walks right out the door. But now she's embarrassed, so she runs down the hallway and screams, "No, we're not going to do anything. He has a rash."